Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. And so today we'll be looking at some common tools that is available in Photoshop and how to use them, how it works. Yeah, so there are so many tools, but then we'll focus on some common ones that we use for our basic works. All right. So once you've launched your Photoshop software, you go to New File. So for the purpose of this session, I'll just select any paper size at all. All right. Okay. So this is the interface, as we all know. And so the very first tool in no order that I would be looking at is the Move tool. So Move is basically for moving layers or moving particular objects. So let's say I bring an image. Let me introduce an image. Okay. So once you bring the image and you see the points around it, it means that you can transform the image. Yeah. So you see how the cursor is turned into a rotate symbol. It means that I can rotate the image. Yes, I rotate the image. Once the it moves from a pointer to a rotate arrow, you can just use it to rotate the image. Alright. So once you are done, you can just click on the correct symbol. Alright. So with the Move tool, you would have to select the particular tool you want to use. So it's selected because of how darkened that particular section has become. So now you can see that the arrow is now black. Yeah, so I can use it to move the image as I click on it. So this is the effect of the Move tool. That's what it is used for. Alright. Okay. Then the next tool we'll look at is the tool under it. That's the lasso tool. So one thing in Photoshop is that once you send the mouse pointer to that particular object, you're able to know the name of the object and also what it's used for, so you can explore alongside. Now with the lasso tool, because of the drop down section under it, means that there are other tools embedded in it. So it's not just the lasso tool in that particular space. So once I right click on it, I'm seeing three other tools. That's the lasso tool, the polygonal lasso tool, and also the magnetic lasso tool. So these lasso tools are for selection of a particular portion of an image. Alright, so before you use them, you would have to rasterize the layer of that image or the object you'd want to use this tool on. So moving to our layer section over here, you right click on it, then you click on rasterize. Okay. Or let's see what happens if you don't rasterize it. Okay, you can make the selection, alright, but then should you want to clean that part, as delete that part, or let's say subtract it from the image, and you click on the backspace or delete, this is what happens. They said could not complete the request because the smart object is not directly editable. So it means that you'd have to rasterize it first. So once I rasterize it and I click on the backspace, realize that that portion has been taken out. Alright, so let's undo is Ctrl Z. Let's undo. Let's make sure our image is rasterized. Okay, so with the lasso tool is basically for selection. So let's say I want to just make a freehand selection of this image. So I can use the mouse, then go around it like that. So depending on how good you are with the mouse, to inform what shape you will be getting at the end of the day. Okay, so let's say I'm interested in getting just the camera out of this, so I'm moving just around it. Okay, so you would have to move from a particular point and select to that same point, then make the selection for you. So let's say this is what I want. I want to erase this part from the image. I can click on delete and it takes it out. But if let's say I'm interested in maintaining that part of the image, what I can do is that I'll come to select at the top over here. Then I click on inverse, or you can see the shortcut key shift plus control plus I, any of them works. So you click on inverse select. So the inverse select means that it selects the other things other than what you've initially selected. So inverse, it selects what, it doesn't select what you selected. Yeah, that's what it means. So once I click on the backspace, realize that it has deleted what I didn't select and left what I selected for me. So that's how the inverse works. So this is how the lasso tool also works. Now this is how the first one works. So let's undo. Okay, then let's see the second one. Second one is polygonal lasso tool. So that one too works similar, but that one you would have to make points. You can't move around the object freely, so you make points at vantage points. So vantage point of the object. So I see that once I've made my first click, it's free, the movement is free, but I can't just move it as I did with the first one. So I would have to make points. So once I move a little bit, there is a curve, I can just make a point. You can see that it has given me like a curve, as in a point to take another direction. Then I do the same thing while I'm moving around it, like that, like that, like that. So relative to what you want from the particular image, then you do your movement. Okay. Okay, almost done. Right. So in as much as you realize that the curves are not round, they are like very rigid. Once you are done with the selection, Photoshop has its way of making it like a very uniform curve for you. So with the same method, I can use Shift, Control and I. Shift, Control and I. Then I make the inverse selection. I click on it, so it takes it out for me. So there's like a way of removing backgrounds if you use the initial ways that we learned and you didn't get a very good or definite selection. You can use this method. Yeah, so these are various options that you can exploit. Then you have the magnetic. So that one too, once you are moving around it works like a magnet something. See that once I'm moving around it, it's making its own selection. So you just have to be moving around the object and it will act like a magnet and make the selection for you very, very smoothly. Okay, then done. Alright, so this is the selection. The selection that we get from using the magnetic lasso tool. So if you are trying to take out the background, we use the Shift Control I to inverse select, then we click on the backspace. So yeah, so you realize that the selections are different. So regarding what you want to do, then you select the one that best works for you. Yeah, so that's how this works. So let's undo. Let's move to the next tool, the magic wand tool. There's another selection tool that we can also apply using our selecting our background. So let's do this magic wand. So first of all, we are supposed to rasterize the image. So we are still using the same image. That one you have to click on a particular portion. Regardless, you would have to click a particular portion. Yeah, and you have to make sure that there is like contrast. So you can see that once I clicked on that background part, there is this on uniform selection. Yeah, so even if I click on the backspace and I'm interested in maintaining only the camera, it doesn't help me because it wasn't rightly selected. So if you have a very good image and the background is very different from the image, once you use this particular tool, it works for you. Yeah, so like I said, you'd have to see the one that works best for you. Then object selection too, you can just make a selection around the image, then you leave Photoshop to decipher the particular object in that space that you marked. So realize that once I made that rectangular shape, rectangular marks around it, Photoshop has by itself identified the object within it and has selected it for me. So if I use the Shift Control I and I click on backspace, this is more like a perfect shape for me. Alright, so let's do undo. Okay, then let's move to crop tool. So with the crop tool, it's for cropping out, cutting a particular section of an object or an image in your interest. So once these marks are there, you can just move it in that direction. You can make the mark and you move the image to fit where you want to select. Then just click on the correct symbol. So this is how it works. So simple. So you just have to know what you want to cut out and you can just cut it out. That is if you want to use an image and you weren't able to cut it out before bringing it, you can do it over here. Alright, so undo, then good to go. Now let's move to the eraser tool. This is the eraser tool. So there are other erasers, but the common one we use is the normal eraser tool, the first one. Now, once you select the eraser, you realize that at this point, at the top, under the image button, you can see 90. So once I click on the drop down list, you can see size and you can see hardness. So size is the size of the image. If I increase it, once I come here, I can erase a very big portion of the image. Let's undo. If I reduce the size and I come here, I can just clean a small portion of the image. So that's how it works. So you select based on what you want to clean, and the hardness also means how hard or how tough the clean is going to be. So if the hardness is at 0 and I clean, realize I'm cleaning, but it's not really cleaning it definitely. There is like a gradient clean. There is another portion that it's left out in the image. But if I take the hardness to, let's say, 100, let's first of all undo and I clean, realize that the cleaning is like definite, a very hard clean. very hard clean. So mostly the low hardness cleaning is for like trying to blend the background with the image. Okay, so let's say I want to blend the image with the background, and I've taken the hardness to 0. Once I come here and I try to clean it, you realize that there is some form of blending. If I reduce the size of the eraser, I can clean these top portions, clean these down portions. Thank you for staying with me throughout. I hope it was insightful. Yeah. Share to others to bless them too. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to like the video, and also don't forget to pass your comments on how you found this tutorial. Stay blessed and see you next time. Bye.